You're scrolling, half asleep, and then you stop. Your best friend, laughing, in a photo you're not in. There's someone new beside them. You've heard the name twice this month. 3 times, actually, because some part of you has been counting. And something in your chest does a small, quick drop. It's over in a second. You deny it if anyone asked. You put the phone down. Then you pick it back up and look at the photo again, a little longer than you'd like to admit. And right behind the first feeling comes a second one. Shame. Because what kind of person is jealous of a friend? You're an adult. You know people are allowed other people. You'd say so warmly, and you'd mean it. And yet the drop happened. It happens every time the new name comes up, small and fast, like a stone let go in deep water. So it's worth stopping on. Why does your best friend's new friend sting like this, when you don't even want it to? Start with what it isn't. It isn't envy. Envy wants what someone else has, and you don't want their new friend. And it isn't dislike. The new person is probably lovely. That's almost the worst part. What you feel is older and simpler than either. It's the fear of being replaced. Not losing the friendship outright. Something quieter than that. Being moved one seat down the table. Still invited. Still loved, probably. Just no longer the first call. No longer the one who already knows. Notice how precise the fear is. Your body isn't vague about this. It knows exactly which seat it's guarding. Which raises the stranger question underneath. Why does a grown adult have a system that guards seats at all? Here's the quiet science of it. The part of you that manages love doesn't sort people into romantic and platonic. It only asks one question about anyone. Is this person one mine? Is this a bond one can put my weight on? Your best friend passed that test years ago. Somewhere inside, they got filed as a load-bearing person. The one you call from the hospital corridor. The one who gets the news before the news is ready to be told. And your body protects load-bearing people the way it protects anything it stands on. It watches them. Not out of pettiness. Out of engineering. When a floor is holding you, you notice the moment the floor shifts. So the drop in your chest isn't small-mindedness. It's an alarm going off in a system built long before you could reason with it. And alarms don't check whether the danger is real. They check whether the pattern matches. This one matched. To find the pattern, go back further. Back to wherever you first learned how love gets divided up. Maybe a sibling arrived, and overnight the attention in the house had one more plate to fill. Maybe the love was steady but stretched thin, and you learned to read where it was going before you learned to spell. Nobody taught you this on purpose. You just watched where the warmth went, the way children do, and drew your conclusions. And the conclusion many of us drew was simple. Love is finite. There's a certain amount, and it goes somewhere. If it goes to someone else, there's less left for you. Not because anyone was cruel, because that's how it looked from where you sat. That arithmetic sank in underneath the level of words. Love is a quantity, attention as a cue, and your body still runs it. Decades later, one photo of your friend laughing, and somewhere inside a small accountant starts subtracting. Now, look at why friendship, of all the bonds, takes this the hardest. A marriage has vows. A family has blood. Even a job has a contract. Friendship has nothing but the choosing. It's held up entirely by two people privately deciding, over and over, that they'd rather this than not. That's what makes it the freest kind of love. It's also what makes it the least offended. There's no ceremony where your friend promises you're it for them. There isn't even a word for what you'd be asking. Try saying it out loud. Promise I'm still your person. You can hear how it sounds. Too much, and somehow also too small. So the fear has nowhere to go. You can't claim the seat without sounding like you're demanding it. And a fear that can't be spoken doesn't leave. It just moves somewhere lower in the house and works with the lights off. That's why it comes out sideways. The flat sounds fun when they mention the trip. The pause before you like the photo. But here's what the sting actually is under all of it. It's a measurement. You don't guard what doesn't matter. Nobody lies awake over their seat beside someone they're lukewarm about. The drop in your chest is your body reporting with complete accuracy how much of your weight this one person holds. The sting is the price of the closeness. The only way to stop feeling it would be to matter to each other less. So the feeling isn't evidence that something is wrong with you. It's evidence that something is precious to you. The alarm and the love are wired together. You are never going to get one without the other. Now walk around the table and look from your friend's side, because the view is different over there. The new friend isn't sitting in your seat. They're sitting in a seat that didn't exist until they arrived. People aren't slots. Your friend isn't running a queue with one opening. Every real bond builds its own room. The new person meets a version of your friend you've maybe never met, and you hold years the new person can't touch. Nobody else sat on that curb with them on the worst night. That seat isn't transferable. It never was. Because here's the part the small accountant never learned. Attention divides, that part was true, but love was never the same thing as attention. Watch a person with more warm bonds, and you usually find more warmth arriving everywhere, not less. New people tend to make your friend bigger, not emptier. But there is one way the fear can make itself come true, and it's worth seeing clearly. If you act from the alarm, going quiet, pulling back, waiting to be missed, you've started to test the friendship never asked for. You withdraw to protect yourself. The withdrawing reads as distance. The distance makes them reach for you less. And then the gap you feared is real, and it looks like proof. But it was never a prophecy. It was a construction. The alarm can't tell the difference between holding a bond and gripping it. In grip, things slip. So the real tell was never whether you feel the sting. Everyone with a load-bearing person feels it. The tell is what the sting gets to mean, whether it passes through you as news or quietly takes the wheel. Felt and named, it's just weather. One cloud crossing, gone by evening. Unfelt and unnamed, it steers. And you've already done the naming, just now, in the last few minutes. Quietly, that's most of the whole thing. Somewhere in all this, a particular photo came to mind. A particular name you've been hearing a lot lately. So maybe the drop in your chest can finally introduce itself. Not jealousy, not smallness. An old accountant, still using arithmetic from a house you left long ago. Your friend isn't leaving. Someone new arriving was never someone old departing. Those two only looked alike from one very small chair. The sting will come again. It comes for everyone who has someone worth keeping. And it isn't a verdict on you or on them. It's just your body counting what it can't afford to lose with the only arithmetic it was ever given. Which means the feeling you were ashamed of was never really jealousy. It was the weight of the friendship felt from the inside. You weren't being small. You were holding something heavy,